a picture-perfect Mother's Day 2015 at beautiful Belmont Park. 450 acres, the top-class thoroughbred entertainment, watching these majestic animals compete on the racetrack, smiling faces, a picnic with the family. There's just nothing like spending a day at the races with the family, with the friends here at beautiful Belmont Park. And I'll tell you, on the second Sunday of the meet, the backyard was aglow with people having a great time, and that is what the game is all about. We're glad you're with us. A happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. It's Jason Blewitt, Richard Migliore, and what a Mother's Day it was here at the Big B.
Absolutely beautiful day weather-wise, a great crowd, and it was nice to see people making use of the best-kept secret in Nassau County, the backyard right here at beautiful Belmont Park.
So spacious, 450 acres. We're home to great racing. We're home to over 2,500 thoroughbreds, many of which competed today. We had 9 races, a second running of the Diablo with 2 major names, and that is when we get to the races of the day. This show will center around Palace Malice and Clearly Now.
Absolutely, and they both ran well, but we'll talk more about that when we get to it. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag.
All right, let's not do that, but we're talking about Preakness 140. 6 days out, second jewel, the Triple Crown down in Baltimore, Maryland. And the Preakness, as we get closer, it may not feature a big field, but it has picked up a couple of long shots, beginning with Dallas Stewart's Taylor Verve.
Yeah, and he's going to be probably the longest shot in the field, and deservedly so. He has won at the distance, if you want to look for some positives, but it took him a little bit over 2 minutes, 2 minutes and a fifth to be exact, to run the mile and 3/16 distance. I would venture to say they're going to run a mile and 3/16 somewhere between 155 and change and 154 and change, so that wouldn't put him exactly in the same category.
Going out for trainer Dallas Stewart on this coming Saturday down at Pimlico, a man that is nearly or come close to engineering some pretty big upsets in the Kentucky Derby. Commanding Curve comes to mind, and he's run a few bombs that have actually hit the board, but this horse looks very overmatched, Taylor Verve.
It really feels like he's very up against it, and in some ways you worry about him cluttering up the field, but he doesn't possess a great deal of speed, so honestly, hopefully he just doesn't get in the way.
And we get our obligatory Maryland invader, or Maryland local, who will be in the starting gate against the Invaders, and Bodhi Sava, who's based at Laurel, and today breezed 5/8 over the main track down in Maryland in 104 flat.
He's going to be a long shot as well, but I mean, I'll at least give this horse some respect because he has won a stake over the course at Pimlico. He was beaten by Bridget's Big Lovey 2 starts back, who was crushed by American Pharaoh at Oaklawn. So you can understand him taking a shot. It is his home course. Basically, he's based in Maryland, but he's going to have to step his game up. But the point is, he actually has either run better or as well in every start, and maybe he's going in the right direction. I can understand them taking a shot.
All right, the locals taking on the big boys. American Pharaoh 6 days out from his potential quest to immortality. We find out a bit more. The plot thickens as we get closer to the action down at Old Hilltop. As Mig noted, though, the second running of the Diablo, big names. This was a big Mother's Day crowd, a big card, and we'll send it up to Larry Colmas as we get you to the Sunday featured 8th race.
And they're all in line. They're off in the Diablo. And Palace Malice broke toward the back of the field, and he's going to be last early. Piquant on the inside, and Stalwalking Dude go out to the front together, and Clearly Now is 2 lengths off of them. Double Down again is down on the inside, and Palace Malice is last early, and he's 5 lengths off the lead as they move into the turn, and Stalwalking Dude is the leader. On top by 1.5 lengths over Piquant and Clearly Now. Palace Malice is there on the outside in 4th after a 22 and 3 opening quarter mile, and he's 3 lengths off the lead. He's going to have to come wide. Double Down again trails the field, and now Clearly Now confronts Stalwalking Dude on the front end, and Palace Malice is getting a wide run, and now John Velasquez asking more from him. He's back running in 4th. Double Down again is now up into 3rd, and they're into the stretch of 45 3/2 mile, and Clearly Now is the leader. Clearly Now, Stalwalking Dude. Palace Malice has got plenty of work to do. He's on the far outside. Stalwalking Dude battles on with Clearly Now. It's going to be these two down to the wire. Stalwalking Dude won it. Clearly Now was second. Palace Malice ends up 3rd.
Wow, what a matchup off the far turn. Heads apart, Stalwalking Dude, and clearly now, neither one of these horses gave an inch, but in the end, Stalwalking Dude was just a half a head to the good.
And Stalwalking Dude in raging form now, his fourth consecutive victory, I should say, fighting back under good, strong left-handed urging from Angel Cruz, who's winning a stake as an apprentice. Obviously, he doesn't get that apprentice allowance. Now, I know clearly now, ran well, got there, hung, wrong lead. I know a lot of people are going to be disappointed with Palace Malice. I actually thought it was a decent run from him. He's never a horse that wants to sprint. It's his first time back in a long time. He didn't lose a lot of ground in the stretch. I actually think it's a great first race back for him.
But for Stalwalking Dude, this is the fourth consecutive race. He has refused to be beaten. He went out for trainer David Jacobson. He's a gelding, a Florida bred by City Place. He's more of a blue-collar, lunch pail kind of horse who's just likable any way you slice him.
Well, and he's just in good form, and it shows you when a horse is in good form, they have the ability to step up in company. He's a 5-year-old gelding, and we've seen David Jacobson excel particularly with these older, hard-hitting geldings.
And Angel Cruz and David Jacobson have been a match made in heaven. Billy Castle's done a nice job. Now Stalwalking Dude, 11 for 27, and the MIG was with Angel after the stake.
Angel, this is your third win in a row on Stalwalking Dude. Boy, he put on some fight on the inside. It looked like he really responded when you switched your whip to the left hand.
Yeah, he always responds in the end, and he fights till the end. He don't quit. And when I hit him left, he always keep going when I keep hitting him left. That's why last race I hit him left, and he just went on and win. And this time I switched to the left, and he just kept running. And he fought till the end. He always a fighter. He never quits.
Well, he's a fighter like you, I guess. You're going to lose the bug in about a week, and you've been riding terrific, riding great. This was your fourth stake win. Do you think winning stake races still as an apprentice will help people to see that you can ride without the weight advantage?
Yes, it'll help a lot. They'll know without the weight it won't matter, and they'll know I have talent.
You were leading rider recently at Aqueduct and now having a great start at Belmont. You got to be happy with the way things are going.
Oh, yes. I'm happy with the trainer. David Jacobson brought this horse ready today, and he did the job, and I rode him good, and there's the winner.
You did ride him good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Likeable kind of young man. He's got a very good attitude. You get kind of what Angel Cruz is about, even in that little snippet, just talking to him for a minute or so.
Yeah, absolutely. He's enjoying what he's doing. He was thrilled to win the stake. He's got confidence in himself, and a rider needs confidence in himself. And I spoke to him about that incident on Friday, hitting right-handed, drifting over. He's a kid that obviously he's young. He's got to have more experience. He's going to learn from his mistakes, but that's what I like about him. He doesn't shy away from criticism or his mistakes. He looks at it, and he improves off of it, and that's the only thing you can expect from a young rider.
Riding in the deepest colony currently in the United States. It's a colony that may get even only tougher, and certainly will as we get closer to Saratoga Racecourse towards the end of July. How important, though, is it for a young guy like Angel Cruz on the verge of losing that 5-pound weight allowance, having a client like David Jacobson in his corner?
It's huge to get that kind of support from a guy who runs winners and have confidence enough to put him on a horse in the stake where he's not getting the apprentice allowance. Basically shows other trainers, hey, I'm not riding him because he's a bug boy. I'm riding him because he's a good rider. And he rode that horse like a good rider. Very strong finish. And you could see how much he's improved physically since he first started riding here heading into the winter. He's just gotten more and more mature physically and mentally. And I think he's going to be able to stick around and do very well year-round here.
We continue to build towards Belmont Stakes Day. Maybe you get that rematch between Stalwalking Dude and Clearly Now in the True North. I think that's 2 days before the Belmont Stakes, and then you've got Palace Malice. His connections still seem pretty bullish on running for a title defense in the Metropolitan.
And I didn't see anything from my point of view in this race that wouldn't make me want to go on. I think this was a race to start off, a jumping off point, something to build on. What was your impression of the race?
Thought he ran well. The more I looked at it, my knee-jerk reaction was, he didn't run too well. But watching the replay again, 6 isn't his game. First start since the Whitney. Showed a bit because he could have easily, once he got into striking range and had no serious punch, he could have easily just stopped cold and just went backwards.
Yeah, I thought he could have caved too, and then I would have been concerned and said, well, maybe he's not the same horse. I didn't see that. He hung in there, just not at a distance he's that comfortable with.
Another good battle coming up here on the show. We've got a live crowd on hand, still filing out. What a day here. Mother Nature smiled upon Belmont, and a potential dress rehearsal for the A-Court coming up on Insider. Summer starts here, featuring the 147th running of the Belmont Stakes. Tickets on sale now, belmontstakes.com. 3 days, 17 stakes, $10 million on the line. And we talked about a potential Belmont Stakes starter this morning, taping the Monday and Tuesday edition of the National Racing Report, looking at Made from Lucky, who won the Peter Pan.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was an impressive winner of the Peter Pan. We've seen the Peter Pan be a real key prep for the Belmont Stakes for your horses that have skipped the Derby for one reason or another. Now, he qualified on points. They just didn't think he handled the racetrack very well at Churchill Downs and did the prudent thing, rewarded with the Peter Pan and maybe a fresh horse heading to Belmont.
We'll talk about the Peter Pan a lot more Monday and Tuesday right here on MSG Plus, along with Dr. Andy Serling. And we can get on to our next race. This was a real mid-card highlight. Some good 3-year-old fillies entered in race number 6. They bet 3 of them from the outside, and we'll send it back up to Larry Colmus.
Had a bit of a bobble coming out of the gate. So You Say goes out to lead them early. Cali 37 on the inside, also with early speed. These two out to the front together, and Muna Sara is just off of them, running in 3rd position. Break of another 2 back to Dreaming of Leah. Then Delightful Joy on the outside. And a good way last year is Here Comes Cat, who's 10 lengths off the lead as they speed up the backstretch. And So You Say's in front. Muna Sara moves up into 2nd after a 23-1 first quarter mile. And then it's Cali 37 on the inside. In between horses, Dreaming of Leah. Delightful Joy is there on the outside and moving up, and it's 6 lengths more back to Here Comes Cat. At the back of the field is So You Say and Muna Sara are a half length apart, moving into the far turn. So You Say, Muna Sara to the outside, 46 flat for the first half mile. And So You Say's trying to shake away now. It's almost a full length lead. Muna Sara second, hangs in there. 3 lengths to Delightful Joy in 3rd. Dreaming of Leah's dropping back in Cali 37, and they're coming to the top of the stretch. The top 2 still the same. So You Say and Muna Sara turning for home together. So You Say, Muna Sara. Now they're right together as they come to the 8th pole. So You Say is on the rail. Muna Sara's on the outside. They're dead even with 1 furlong to go. John Velasquez and Muna Sara take the lead now. So You Say back into 2nd, and then it's Delightful Joy. It is Muna Sara winning again by 2 on the wire over So You Say. Delightful Joy was 3rd, and then Cali 37.
Good battle off the far turn, much like the Diablo. 2 locked horns, and in the end, Muna Sara made it a perfect 2 for 2.
And Muna Sara with a royal pedigree. We were talking off camera about her dam, I should say, La Hudud, who had won that Breeders' Cup at Monmouth and that boggy going. And here she is. This filly possesses speed. She runs on the dirt. Although she looks as big and rangy as she is, that she won't have any trouble going further. I'm going to be, interested to see how she continues to develop and stretch out.
It'd be a big jump up, and she's only run a couple of times, and she's a perfect 2 for 2 once again. I'm thinking Keir McLaughlin for Shadwell. You've got to be taking a serious look at the Acorn here on Belmont Day. She got the mile today with no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, I think you have to, particularly with her pedigree. Even if she's 3rd, it's going to enhance her value greatly, being a grade 1 placed horse. And obviously, if she can continue to develop and step forward, she's a nice filly.
You tend to get that from Kieran as well. Yeah. He's not a one-hit wonder kind of guy who has them crank for 1 and then they go the other way. They tend to keep improving, and she's an intriguing filly going forward in the middle of May. We go forward, race number 7. It's the late pick 4, leg number 2, a classic, typical Belmont Sunday allowance race on the turf. It's a big field. We'll see how Larry does getting through the pack as we send it up.
Running in 2nd, School of Hard Rocks is out 3rd, all included on the outside is 4th. And then comes Sinatra, who will settle behind the top 4 and run in 5th, 4 lengths off the lead. After that, it's Fox Rules on the inside. Smooth Daddy is after that, all tied up along the rail. Exclusive Strike steady there in mid-pack. And they're followed by Captain Gogan to the outside. Upgrade is after that. And then comes Ocala Jim. 22-3 was the first quarter, and put it forwards in front. And he is moving right along on the lead. Comes The Dream is 2nd, and outside of them, School of Hard Rocks in contention and moving in 3rd. All inclusive is 4th, 4 lengths off the lead. 2.5 to Sinatra, then Smooth Daddy. Captain Gogan gets going on the outside. Exclusive Strikes got about 10 lengths to make up. 45-3 was the half mile for Put It Forward, who speeds round the far turn in front. Comes the Dream as second. School of Hard Rocks third to the outside of them. Then All Inclusive. Captain Gogan forced to go very wide here. Then Sinatra and Smooth Daddy at the end of the stretch, and Comes the Dream has taken the lead at the top of the stretch. All Inclusive runs up on the outside. These two into the final furlong. All Inclusive has taken the lead on the outside. All Included in front. All Included takes over, pulls away from Comes the Dream, and then Upgrade on the outside. All Included wins it. And then Comes the Dream, followed by Upgrade.
Win streaks, a popular theme on tonight's show, is the unbeaten All Included. Perfect 3 for 3, and he was good off the layoff.
Yeah, 3 for 3 on the turf. Now the Wertheimer family, obviously, they breed good horses. Took this horse till he hit the grass, but off the layoff, comes back firing. And kind of a really good-looking horse. Got that pretty flashy chestnut color going on. Not my particular personal taste, but I know a lot of people like those kind of horses.
4-year-old colt by Include. Todd Fletcher had him in tip-top shape. Not only was he coming off a layoff dating back to last summer's August meet at Saratoga, he was stepping up in class as well, and Javier Castellano had him up close, but saving as much ground as possible, angled out, and that was all they wrote in race number 7.
Javier's been riding so well, particularly on the grass. And you know, I was thinking about this afterwards. Where do you go from here with this horse? Is this horse rate an opportunity maybe to step up to stake-level competition? I mean, it seems like he's going to have to find a little more forward move, but does he have it in him?
I think he does, and Todd's not a guy averse to shipping, and he's well in tune with what's going on out of town to boot. Maybe you find a nice 75K stake at Monmouth Park over the summer. Maybe you step up and try horses in the poker. We'll see. That mile division at this point is fairly wide open, and we looked at that. Speaking of the racing report, Mandela's horse who won Saturday's American.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to come back in the Shoemaker Mile, so he's going to step up to Grade 1 competition. Looked good in his American debut. But, yeah, I guess Todd kind of pays attention to that stuff, huh?
Indeed he does, and that horse Bala Bali, we'll talk about him on the Racing Report Monday and Tuesday. Rapid fire, Larry C. at the mic. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9.
For home with the lead. And on the outside comes Frost Jordan in second. Snake Pit, still with work to do, swings up outside of Chief Energy as they come into the final furlong. And Snake Pit is still about 6 lengths behind and laboring back there in fourth. He's not going to get there today. It is Grandpa Len. Grandpa Len coming down to the wire, and he is going to do it. Grandpa Len will defeat Frost Jordan, and Snake Pit ends up third. To do, and Newbin Ridge, and they're coming to the top of the stretch. Isn't Love Just Grand? On the outside, Summer Breezing. These two come into the final furlong, 1-2. And then it's Great Attack on the outside. Looking Cool in the center of the course is next. And then Permanent Campaign. It is Summer Breezing. Summer Breezing's got the lead as they come down to the finish. Jose Lescano and Summer Breezing to win. Isn't Love Just Grand was second. Permanent Campaign was third. The stretch. And Glacken 2 takes off. Puts away the pulse. Frisky Warrior is now second and trying to close in. Then Terniak and Spa City Fever, who was far behind, is moving up on the far outside. And they come into the final 16th. Glacken 2 in front. Spa City Fever on the outside coming. Glacken 2. Spa City Fever. Here's the line. Spa City Fever. From last to first. Over Glacken. 4.5 mile, and right behind them is Noble Hustle, who's going to split those two now as Decent Races wide, drifting out through the stretch, and DeKalb County is pulling away impressively now by 5, 6, 7. DeKalb County and John Velasquez coming home well in control. They're going to win wrapped up by about 8 or 9 in the end. Over Noble Hustle, Banker's Boss. Fourth, Nimblefoot is going up on the far outside and they're into the stretch. Susie's a Cowgirl. Still there with a furlong to run. Nimblefoot on the outside comes on. And then it's Elated along the rail, followed by Night Sky and Kitsy's Rocket, and they're coming down to the finish. And it's Susie's a Cowgirl at 66-1. Turning for home in front now. Here comes King Gatto, who has gone by to take the lead. Tree Fire is there. Reach for Yield on the outside. King Gatto and Tree Fire into the final furlong together. And from far, far behind, trying to mount a rally is Jeremy Song down the center of the course. Then Reach for Yield to the inside, but it's going to be Tree Fire. Tree Fire and Eric Consell to score. And then it was King Gatto, followed by Reach for Yield.
Robbie Davis wanted a big price today. That was Susie's Cowgirl. Even with that filly winning and paying nearly $140, two horses, the 8 and 11, were covered in the pick six going into the last.
But it's hard to believe someone actually had Susie's Cowgirl. But even harder to believe that then they didn't hit it, because that had to be the toughest one in the sequence, although she's been working lights out up at Saratoga, some terrific workouts.
Study up, 118,000 plus. Double carryover into Wednesday's card. Those past performances out, dailyracingform.com, timeformus.com. And let's get Cappy's binocs. Cappy can get us into the second look on a gorgeous Mother's Day at Belmont Park. Race number 5. Hey, on Mother's Day, we had a Susie win. Susie's a Cowgirl. Robbie Davis and Junior Alvarado.
Great job by Robbie Davis, to have this filly ready to fire. Hasn't run since March. First time turf. Been working lights out up in Saratoga. Junior Alvarado aggressively puts her on the lead, and she takes them flag fall to that's all. And you know what? I'm just happy for Robbie. You can see how pumped up he is there.
Oh, I wonder if there's a $20 win ticket in his pocket at 66 to 1
I
on
hope
this
there's
filly.
a $200 win ticket in his pocket.
Yeah, happy Davis clan getting back to the winner's circle, reunited with Susie's a Cowgirl. And there's something to be said for riding a speed horse and being aggressive, and it all worked out with Junior Alvarado. Claims with another Sunday down, second Sunday in fact. Do we have two slates there, Mr. Nick? Just one slate. And one claim out of the first Snake Pit, who bombed at 2 to 5. He was never in the race. Curious to see going forward what Jeremiah Engelhardt can do with Summer Breezing.
Yeah, I'm curious too. Summer Breeze, I think, has the potential maybe to go on. Nice to see the Toscanos. They've been having such a good year, reaching in for another one. Gary Gullo keeps the pace going.
Claiming one off Rudy, Banker's boss, who had not run since last summer at the Spa. We don't have Saratoga, but we've got to look back at the week that was here at beautiful Belmont Park. Twilight Eclipse, these world-renowned turf courses, and a lot more. Only jockeys get closer to the action. Watch, wager, and win. The new look, Naira.com, live HD streaming, bet 100, get 100. And the new website looks fantastic.
It really does, and it's easy to negotiate, because if I can negotiate it, anybody can. I have my challenges with technology. I'm better with 2 reins and a horse and a mane and a tail, but it's even easy for me to do.
All right, I like that endorsement. It's the MIG, it's JB. Let's do it. A look back, week number 2, and we need not look far. Grade 1 win yesterday, the first of 10 Grade 1s to be run this meet at Belmont. Twilight Eclipse leads off the performers of the week, taking the Grade 1 Man of War here on Saturday.
Yeah, finally getting that elusive Grade 1 victory for him. He'd been so close, so many wars with Main Sequence, who was turf champion. Without Main Sequence, would he been last year's Eclipse champion? Potentially he could have been, but this was a good way to start out his campaign this year. He ran well in the Pan American, came back and wins the Grade 1. Nice to see West Point get that Grade 1. They had a lot of fun here yesterday.
Oh, they did. A big group was waiting for Twilight Eclipse in the winner's circle. And how about this great mare? What a monster. I love this horse. Discreet Mark is the best.
I think you're one of many that love her. I do too, and I see she's developed a fan base because she's 5 years old. She's still getting it done. Great job by Christophe Clement and John Velasquez getting her in the winner's circle.
Thursday's 8th. Watch this late kick. White cap out in the middle of the track from Takeover Target for Chad Brown.
A Takeover Target just signaling that there's bigger and better things to come in his future. Obviously, next will be the Pennine Ridge as a prep for the Belmont Derby. And right now, I got to think he's on everybody's radar as the horse to beat heading into those events.
Unbeaten in a pair of starts. He's trained by a master in Chad Brown, called by Harlan's Holiday. That was like a Lady Eli turn a foot off the quarter pole. Yeah. Really gave me goosebumps going back to Thursday's program. Javier Castellano rides a lot for Chad Brown. He wasn't aboard Takeover Target, but he won a couple of stakes here Saturday, and here he is aboard Twilight Eclipse, getting into the winner's circle, and he was our winner's circle favorite as the week's hot jockey.
Yeah, and deservedly so. Really got his momentum going, coming back from Kentucky after the Derby. And Javier's just doing everything right. His confidence level at an all-time high, and looking for his 3rd consecutive Eclipse Award.
Rider standings with 10 full cards down, 3 of them battling heads apart. 1 win for each racing day, it seems, at Belmont for the first 3 guys.
You like to see this, and what this speaks to is the depth of this colony. You don't have somebody running away with this. You got guys in there battling for it, and all very deserving, hard-working riders.
Good week for Chad Brown. He's done very little wrong. He runs a top-class operation, and he wins high-quality grass races, and he went 4 for 14. It just keeps getting better for Chad.
Yeah, and the beat goes on for Chad Brown. Just an embarrassment of riches, kind of along the lines of Todd Pletcher. I'm sure he looks down the shed row, and he's pretty happy with everything he sees. David Jacobson's got a lot of numbers, and he had a good day. It's not going to be a walkover for Chad, but he's certainly having a tremendous year.
And David scored that training double on the afternoon. Got the old 8-year-old Spa City Fever home, followed that up with Stall Walk and Dude. A good day for those older geldings in the Jacobson barn, and we look ahead, 118K plus in that carryover. Here's Andy and Maggie with who to look for on Wednesday.
Thanks a lot, guys. Well, it might be Sunday, it might be Monday, depending on when you're watching the show, but wherever it is, whenever it is, I can't wait for Wednesday. We've got some interesting races on Wednesday's card. One that I'll take a look at right now is the 5th race, and that's a mile race on the Widener course for New York breds on the turf. And I think RY Squadron will probably be favored, as Chad Brown often is in these situations, and nothing wrong with that horse. He can certainly win, but I like the 1 Skinner Box, who should be at least second choice in here. Skinner Box has faced tougher horses, and last time at Gulfstream, he had a nightmare trip. Jammed down the inside, and on 2 separate occasions around the turn, 3/8 pole to quarter, he was badly or steadied out during the running of the race and did not have a fair chance to do any running. In this spot with Joel Rosario, hopefully a cleaner trip, and I think Skinner Box might be a better horse than RY Squadron. I'll take my chances. An interesting competitor field, but for me, it's Skinner Box in race 5 on Wednesday.
Thanks, Andy. Well, this Paddock Insider for you on this beautiful Mother's Day. We're going to take a look at the Wednesday card, focusing in on race number 8. It is our featured, and it's allowance for 3-year-olds and upward on the turf. And I'll take a look at a first-time turfer. That is the very well-bred number 7 Seagate in here. A son of distorted humor, a half-brother to Imperia, who did some good things on the turf course, especially here at Belmont. For Kieran, well, this is his older brother, and they're both out of the champion Chilean mare. That is Cocoa Beach, who was very good on either surface. But the thing that really puts me over the edge with him getting on the turf for the first time is not that Kieran has great numbers with this move. I just had felt from the get-go, from going back through my notes, that he looked more turf meant. So I'm interested to see him off this layoff and get on the green stuff tomorrow, or excuse me, Wednesday. So it's Seagate, your Paddock Insider. Guys, back to you.
We'll work on that main track over the next 48 hours. We will have it waiting for you here on Wednesday, along with 118,000 plus in the Pick 6. Let's go Rangers down in D.C. Have a great couple of dark days, and we are back Wednesday with the first race post of 120.